go live. Good morning, welcome to a Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 19th of May. So what we've got in store today, let's look at the news events first. Let's just go and quick click on there. One thing I forgot yesterday when I was talking about the news events was the speakers. There were some quite noisy speakers in the afternoon. They're creating volatility in the market in pretty decent moves. What we got leading up today, then we got core retail sales for Canada, and we got Fed Chair Powell speaking there at 4 p.m. So what's he speaking about? Whoops, what happened there? Due to participate in a panel discussion titled Perspectives on Monetary Policy. Might get something out of him from that, but it's not a biggie. But we do have Fed Williams, Fed Bauman, ECB Schnabel, Fed Powell. We've got Powell there already. So we've got other Fed speakers starting at 13:45. We've got a Bank of England speaker this morning at 10:45. So there are a few events to be wary-ish of, but I don't think there's too much major there. It's famous last words. So starting off looking at the euro dollar this morning. Morning, Sean. Morning here. So euro dollar this morning. Well, the euro is continuing to run down. The important thing here I was pointing out yesterday was quarterly pivot. It's run through its quarterly pivot. I looked at dollar index as well just to cross-reference. These are pretty correlated markets, like very correlated market. Same thing here, it managed to push through a little bit earlier through its quarterly pivot, so it's a bit more bearish where it sits at the moment. It doesn't mean to say it's going to be all downside, and well, we're already seeing a minor rally at the moment. minor. But a bit wary of this move. Yesterday when I was saying, well, the euro looks okay for the downside, and well, to be fair, it already moved a fair bit towards that downside. I didn't expect it to move quite as far as it did, but we'll look at other markets in a moment. But it was still sort of a bit of an ugly flag, but it was starting to move. What we got here today is it's effectively shown a divergence over these lows. If I brought in an indicator, let's just bring an indicator in. There you go. Whether you're looking at RSI or MACD, you've got divergences over the lows here, and it's popped the high between the two lows, which is a bit of a warning. It could go up further. So, as much as I'm still sort of bearish on it for the time being, I've got to accept that, well, okay, it's popped that. It's not a particularly great setup. Either leave it's probably the best thing. If you try selling into it at the moment, as much as it might just pop over and roll over, it's a higher risk. So that's the important thing to work out. Okay, the pound dollar, similar picture actually on the higher time frame again. It's through my pivotal level, much more important than the quarterly pivot. Well, it's significantly important because of the amount of hits on either side, most near term and over the longer term. So it's really quite a key area. However, it's not anywhere near its quarterly pivots here, but below its monthly, still looking softer. Lower highs, lower lows. The structure of the market's quite clear at the moment. There are some prior lows that are sort of not far away, and whenever I see them on a chart, we're aware of them. Sometimes you scroll the chart back and you think, oh crikey, there's a whole raft of support down there. Well, there may be. You could just need to go back one more and just look at, well, there was these other lows here can't lose sight of, which might in turn give support. Anyway, for now, similar situation. Yesterday it was rolling off from this sort of huge flaggy sort of pattern. It's rolling off. It was a lot easier. It didn't give me any sort of target even down to the lows. It wasn't really, the risk rewards wasn't fitting on this one. Anyway, it's today, well, it's not quite diverged. It had a lower high here, but similar pattern, and still makes me wonder. It has pulled off again. The daily pivot hasn't quite caught the daily pivot here, but maybe a slightly different calculation and it would have caught it. The US dollar yen, well, this is ball flaggy looking. Notoriously slow and horrible first thing in the morning now for us, though. It's may have done its moves for now, but ball flaggy for sure. Looking at the bigger picture, of course, it should be, though, because we don't want to be missing things. Last month's quarterly pivot, the last quarterly pivot was around the. Oh, it's just gone through it. It's just coming back for support, maybe to that sort of level. Nothing near term here-ish. We've already through monthlies, etc. So it's just sort of churning through. From a daily perspective, a weekly perspective, it's right up to its R3 there. Generally we see closes within the R3s more than we see them out. It's only around about 3% chance of seeing them close outside of the R3, so it's a very low probability. So taking a long on that probably doesn't make a lot of sense. Aussie dollar, crikey, I've been sitting in this for a year it seems. Still sitting short. There's nothing here. It doesn't look great on the downside, short side here for my short, really, because it's actually already given a little hourly higher low on this. Possibility as we run through this morning. It often doesn't take long. I finished this recording, and the very next hour it starts rolling back. So beware, it's still got lower highs, lower lows, but it's not necessarily got a setup. So there's me really looking for morning setups, and there isn't a great deal. The Canadian dollar, let's just come out to the bigger time frame, still in its big range. It's been holding up better than a lot of the markets, and that's why I've used it. I used it against the euro yesterday. It's sort of come off at the right time for me, and it's been just the fact that it hasn't been necessarily rallying or doing too much on its own against the US dollar, I should say. It's the Canadian dollar's held up pretty well across the markets, but I don't have anything here at the moment either, so it's a bit of a thin morning in terms of current setups. New Zealand dollar, just flick on that, is no good. Euro yen, this was looking quite bearish a moment ago. Now it's sort of got the potential to turn around to bullishness. Arguably it's got a bit of a flag there. Maybe that could be the answer. We'll see what develops from it, but it has got this nice trend that's running up there still. On the 4 hourlies and the dailies it's sort of been pushing up quite well, but maybe a down day today. Due a down day, that's what I was trying to say. Like the euro pound, well, game bear flaggy sort of. I'm looking at here a little bit more flaggy. Maybe later on that'll start breaking the lows. Got to be a bit careful because it can be very whippy. We saw that here. Saw it whipping all over the place. I was looking at it and then waited, and patience paid off because it then rallied. But only to fail later. And again, we're seeing this sort of afternoon movements occurring, and some of them are much bigger than the mornings. Euro Aussie, and to explain that, it's a lot of it is to talk about the US debt ceiling, hence why it's as it is. Okay, I won't get rid of the indices, Ritu. Sorry, just pre-reading what's notes coming through here. I wasn't intending getting rid of them all. I just thought I won't cover them all, but there seems to be a bit more popular than I expected. Anyway, double bottoms on this Euro Aussie here. Maybe it's got a bit more bounce in it, but Euro Aussie, but that's what I think at the moment. One of my favourite currencies, and this could still set me something. Did yesterday eventually? Where was it? Where's the 8 o'clock bar? Yeah, it was on the 8 o'clock bar. It's quite early. I took this. It just running through. There's a number of things. I was looking for a little bit more in the S1. I took half out on the S1 actually, and took another half off at 45.20. So didn't do too bad in terms of getting the bottom of that. Actually, crikey, it's better than I thought. but I was looking for somewhere between. I didn't expect it to come all the way down to the S2. The probability is not good. It's only got a 20% probability that happened. So, but yesterday, just to an idea, I actually just measured the range of the day. Just measured the average true range. Just click down here. I've got the average true range sitting here. It's about 100 pips, and I based it on the average true range. Really good sort of idea if it's a bit of a normal day. Actually, how many pips it really did in the end. I'll be the overall day. There we go, 92. So it came up a bit short. I wasn't trying to eke out every one of those 100 pips. I remember it's only an average, so 90 is good enough. Anyway, looking at today, maybe underside of the daily pivot here. So I will be putting an alert on this morning. There we go. I'll do it now because it saves me time later, and I've still got that one as a highlighted currency to trade. So I'll use a list down the side here, and slightly different to the one you got on here, but use the list and I just literally highlight them, so I get alerts. I get the alert, but I can also go back and check them quickly. Anyway, there doesn't seem to be too much. The pound Aussie and pound CAD I'm not really interested in. In fact, look at the actually pound Aussie this morning's really taken a bit of a shift from what I was looking at a few minutes ago. In fact, the pound dollar is just shifting already. So that's why you should be in my trading room, because you'll be with me more often. Okay, low highs, low lows. Looking to do for some sessions next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday while I'm talking for that. If you want to come and join me. What we got going on here? Pound yen. I'll give you more details later. Pound yen rolling over. Aussie CAD. That's just really not a lot here at this stage. So it's going to be a run through. The best thing there really is that Euro CAD. If it pulls back up there, we might get the likes of the euro and the pound. The pound is actually, as I said, at the moment just rolling back a little bit here. Not the cleanest or nicest of moves here, but well, break of the low, maybe get a breakdown on here as much as anything else, rather than flags and things. Right, okay, that's the Forex markets. Let's go and have a look at gold. So gold, ooh, okay. So gold still obviously in its downward, daily downward move, lower highs, lower lows, largely brought on by the strong US dollar here. But look at this, it's all the markets done a little peaky here and pulling back at the moment, a bit bear flaggy. Maybe close below 1960. That was a good year. Below 1960 might just trigger the short side of things there. So looking soft on gold. Silver, I'm just going to look at it the bigger time frame. I'm not looking coming down the time frames on this. Well, same thing. It's just seeing the strong dollar. I say I'm not bringing it in, then just starting to look through, but strong dollar that's sort of occurring there is seeing a weaker silver at the moment. It has double tops around here. A lot of people are looking at the near-term highs here and saying, well, things are over. Well, they might be in the short term or intermediate term here for now. You had the double top on gold here as well. But we'll see. Gold's not, this has gone back to gold here. Gold's not that far away from its quarterly pivot. I would look to see if we get a bounce from that if it gets there. Okay, indices. So indices here. Indices lower highs. CSI 300 still bearish here. Still very, very bearish at the moment on that market. Nikkei kingpin up again. Look, it's had a little. There's no holding it back at the moment. It seems it's continued to be up on the upside. The Nikkei, not a lot I could do to trade that personally. It's almost like FOMO. You fear of missing out on what's happening, and just as you hit the button, it starts its correction. It's due a correction, I'm sure, but there's no way I'm going to be selling the tops of something like that. Likewise, Nifty 50, we're seeing the correction here at the moment, seeing a bit of a correction. Support-wise, I'm sort of looking at here, and you're really looking down to the sort of monthly pivots maybe. They're around that sort of area. Maybe I've got the 200M on here, we're still above the 200. Still looking at it in a sort of bullish mode. Actually, just where my cursor is, there's a little bit of maybe the prior lows here just might hold up, but it has softened off a little bit there. We'll see what develops. S&Ps, E-minis. Yeehaw, yesterday we managed to actually break out of the range. Bit of a diamond range there, so if that was to work out as they sort of do, it's the depth of the diamond is to the upside, so we'll see. That is very rule of thummy, and well, we'll see, as I say, see what happens there, but you need some more positiveness come through yet, but it is looking a little bit more bullish, although only to have run into its monthly R1. Dow Jones lagging, absolutely lagging here still. Slower the market. The Nasdaq's been the leading light here, and once again it just continued to shove up there. Again, I really wouldn't want to bet against this. However, I would like to see it. If I was looking to get long into it, I'd like a little retrace to pitch into it, but that's just me liking retraces. DAX is pushed up here. Finally got that break above the 1600 area. That lit the fuse paper really. It looked like it probably took out a load of stops that had been sitting from all the people down up that would have wanted to be short in a market that's pushing up. It's only natural, isn't it, for some reason. Don't call me natural. Anyway, it broke, it's pushed up, it's looking like it's probably on the shorter time frames here. Got a bit of divergence kicking across here. There we go. This isn't an obvious immediate short, but daily pivot is below there. The way the DAX moves, I wouldn't be totally shocked if it came down to there and then bounced and continued, but I don't like selling tops, so as much as it's there and it might come down there, the bounce off the pivot might be a bit more interesting for me. Right, and finally the FTSE and the equity markets. FTSE's just not following suit, is it? It's just consolidating here, and not such a nice market. Out 4 hours horrible, so we just don't bother looking at things like that. Or you shouldn't. If that's the only bread and butter thing that you got, have a rest. Coming over to crypto just very briefly here. Not really, Ritu. Bitcoin then, dailies here consolidated around these lows here, not really going too far. Really just looking at just come down the time frame, see the detail here, and yeah, quite choppy. What we're seeing there, not particularly great. Ethereum. Let's just have a look at what's happening. Ethereum, same sort of thing, not really following. It's the strength of the US dollar more so than anything. It's holding these back. Yeah, there's Chainlink. Again, all looking. I mean, they all ran down. A lot of them run down yesterday. Picking up again this morning. Litecoin there, slightly ahead of some of them. Looking a little bit more bullish. Ripple. The old Raspberry Ripple, if I can click on it, that'd be good. It's the underside of its back to the underside of its quarterly pivot. Really, if it can break back above there, it's got its monthly pivot to contend with. Both resistance points. Yesterday, it reacted initially to the underside of the quarterly. It seems to be floating above it and below it at the moment, and it needs to clear away from it. But yeah, a break above there might look good. Okay, right, I'm pretty much done there for today. I'm going to wish you a great day's sorry, a bit longer than normal, but great day's trading. I'll catch you later. Take care. Bye for now. Cheers, Ritu. Take care, guys.